Apple's little black box might finally be getting the glow-up it deserves. For years, the Apple TV 4K has quietly been one of the most powerful yet underrated devices in Apple's lineup, a streamer that does much more than just play shows. And now, new leaks and rumors are hinting at something big coming in 2025. Reports suggest that Apple is preparing the next generation Apple TV 4K with major hardware and software changes, a faster chip, smarter AI features, and maybe even a surprise or two that no one expected. So today, let's dive deep into everything we know, all the leaks, rumors, and predictions, and figure out what this next Apple TV might actually be, and whether it's worth waiting for. When Apple released the last Apple TV 4K in 2022, it already felt far ahead of most streaming devices. Powered by the A15 Bionic, it offered incredible speed, smooth navigation, and the best HDR picture quality you could ask for. But since then, the streaming landscape has changed dramatically. We're now living in an era where gaming, AI, and smart home features are merging, and Apple seems ready to push its set-top box right into the center of that ecosystem. The question is, how far will they go? According to multiple leaks, the upcoming Apple TV 4K could take a massive leap forward with Apple's A17 Pro chip, the same one used in the iPhone 15 Pro lineup. That's a serious performance boost. This chip brings not just faster CPU speeds, but also a much stronger GPU, meaning the Apple TV could finally handle true console-level graphics in Apple Arcade titles. It also means the device could manage AI-driven tasks locally, like smarter recommendations, instant voice responses, or even real-time video processing for FaceTime and camera features. Some sources even claim Apple tested internal prototypes with newer chips, possibly A18 or A19, but the A17 Pro seems the most realistic option based on the balance between power, cost, and thermals. If Apple manages to fit that chip into the compact Apple TV box, we're looking at a small device with the performance of a mini console. But performance is only half the story. The next big leap might come from connectivity. Leaks mention that Apple is testing a new internal wireless chip, codenamed Proxima, that combines Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in one advanced module. This could bring Wi-Fi 6E or even Wi-Fi 7 to the next Apple TV, which would dramatically reduce lag and buffering during 4K and 8K streaming. Imagine seamless cloud gaming, smoother AirPlay connections, and near-zero latency when using Bluetooth controllers or AirPods. Wi-Fi 7 is still relatively new, but even Wi-Fi 6E would make a noticeable difference, especially in dense environments like apartment buildings where interference is common. Apple has always been careful with adopting bleeding-edge wireless tech, so Wi-Fi 6E feels more likely, while Wi-Fi 7 could be reserved for a higher-end variant later on. Now, here's where things start to get interesting: the design and feature leaks. Some reports, including ones shared by Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, mention that Apple has considered integrating a built-in camera into the next Apple TV. At first, it sounds strange. But think about it. FaceTime on a big screen, group calls with auto-framing, or even gesture control. You could walk into your living room, wave your hand to answer a call, or use simple motions to skip songs or pause a video. It's futuristic, but it fits Apple's pattern of slowly blending its hardware ecosystems.
The only issue?
Privacy and practicality. A camera in your living room won't appeal to everyone. Apple would need to make privacy a selling point, maybe with an automatic lens cover or hardware indicator light. Still, this rumor refuses to die, and given Apple's recent interest in spatial and gesture-based input, it wouldn't be shocking to see some version of this appear. Beyond the camera idea, other smaller leaks talk about HDMI pass-through support, meaning you could connect your gaming console or Blu-ray player through the Apple TV and let Apple's image processing handle HDR tone mapping and upscaling. That would be a dream for home theater fans, but it's still unconfirmed and technically complex. It would push the Apple TV from being just a streaming box to a central home entertainment hub. However, the cost and complexity might make it unlikely in the near future. Speaking of cost, let's talk price. One of the most exciting claims from analysts like Ming-Chi Kuo is that Apple could aim to make the next Apple TV more affordable, possibly even under $100. That would be a game changer. The Apple TV has always been known for premium performance, but also a premium price. Dropping the entry point below $100 would open the door for millions more users, especially those who already own iPhones or Macs, but have hesitated to buy the Apple TV. The catch? To hit that price, Apple may have to make compromises. Maybe less storage, no built-in camera, or fewer ports. So the best bet might be two models, a standard Apple TV for the mass market, and a Pro version with all the premium extras like the A18 chip, better wireless, and possibly that built-in camera. That kind of two-tier strategy has worked for Apple before with iPhones and Macs, and it makes perfect sense here. But hardware is just one piece. The next big story is TVOS and what Apple calls Apple Intelligence, their new suite of AI-driven features. During WWDC 2025, Apple teased a smarter, more connected version of TVOS. Imagine a system that learns what you watch, suggests the perfect show based on your mood, or even understands voice commands like, "Show me that movie with Tom Hanks where he's stranded on an island." Apple Intelligence could bring smarter search, personalized recommendations, and even live sports summaries. Combined with the A17 Pro's neural engine, it could all happen on device, preserving privacy while keeping things fast. Rumors also suggest UI changes are on the way. A cleaner, more fluid interface, richer visuals, and dynamic backgrounds. Netflix has already begun rolling out a redesigned interface on Apple TV, with more cinematic previews and immersive scrolling, and Apple might follow suit with its own refresh. Expect multi-user profiles to get better too, so family members can each have their own content and recommendations. And here's something that could make gamers smile. Apple Arcade might finally become more than a side feature. With an A17 Pro chip, the new Apple TV could handle much more complex games. Think near console quality, smooth frame rates, and faster load times. Apple has been quietly expanding partnerships with developers, and improved wireless performance would mean better support for third-party Bluetooth controllers and AirPods. While it won't replace your PlayStation or Xbox, it could become a go-to for casual gaming and family entertainment. The Apple TV already supports multiplayer and cross-device syncing, and the next step could be cloud gaming, if Apple ever decides to fully embrace it. On top of all that, Apple's smart home ambitions are evolving, and the Apple TV plays a key role in that. As a HomeKit hub, it already manages automations and Matter devices, but future models might take on more responsibilities. With stronger hardware and faster connectivity, the Apple TV could become the command center of your smart home, processing camera feeds locally, managing automations faster, and even displaying smart widgets or alerts right on your TV screen. It's part of Apple's bigger plan to make the TV not just a screen for watching, but a control center for your digital life. Of course, not every leak is worth betting on. Some of the more extreme rumors, like full HDMI pass-through, ultra-cheap pricing, or radical design changes, are likely exaggerated. Apple tends to evolve its products gradually, not overhaul them overnight. So while a few features sound exciting, it's safe to expect evolutionary changes rather than revolutionary ones. Still, the combination of a new chip, upgraded networking, smarter software, and maybe a lower price makes this the most promising Apple TV upgrade in years. So, what's the final picture look like? Based on everything we've heard, here's what the next Apple TV 4K will probably include. An A17 Pro chip or equivalent, possibly 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM, faster Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 7 connectivity, and at least 64 or 128 gigabytes of storage. It'll still support HDMI 2.1, Dolby Vision, and Dolby Atmos, and might come with an improved Siri remote, maybe rechargeable via USB-C this time. The base model could land around $99 to $129, while a higher-end version could reach $199 or more if it includes that built-in camera or other smart features. Launch timing? Most leaks point to late 2025, likely October or November, when Apple traditionally reveals new home and entertainment products alongside Mac and iPad updates. So, should you wait or buy the current model? If you already own the 2022 Apple TV 4K, you're still in great shape. It's fast, reliable, and fully supports tvOS 26. But if you've been thinking about upgrading or jumping into the Apple ecosystem, it might be worth waiting just a little longer. This next model promises not only performance improvements, but also a real evolution in how Apple envisions your living room. It won't just be about watching shows. It'll be about smarter experiences, richer gaming, and a tighter connection with the rest of your Apple devices. In the end, the Apple TV 4K 2025 looks like Apple's most ambitious move yet for the living room. It's a subtle revolution, not flashy but deeply practical. A faster chip, better networking, a smarter interface, and possibly an affordable price tag could finally make Apple's streaming box as mainstream as the iPhone or iPad.